Bakken is talking. And now here's your host, D. James.
Thank you, Thomas. Good afternoon and welcome to the Monday edition of The Bakken is Talking. It's about 10 minutes past the hour, and as we have every Monday afternoon, we have Lorraine Purcell in the studio with us this afternoon for Mental Health Monday. And Lorraine, welcome.
Hi, Dee. It's so great to see you again. I'm glad you're back from Billings and everything went safe with you. And
thank you. I am glad I'm back from Billings, too. Last week was quite a week. I left Monday afternoon right after our visit. We recorded our visit last week, and I left right after we had pre-recorded our visit, headed out for Billings, got there just fine. And my daughter, the purpose of the trip was so she could take her LPN boards. And we got to Billings just fine, no problem, except the last stretch of it. It started pouring down rain, and then the rain changed over to snow. But we got there fine, but the trip back was just treacherous. And the I-94, about 200 miles of that stretch was just ice and snow packed, and those semis were just flying by us and blowing the snow and blinding us. And at one point, Lorraine, it was after dark, and we were still traveling on the road, and we were blown off of the road, off of the interstate.
You were blown off.
By a semi passed, and just with that, I think just that it passed by so fast, going so fast. What do you call it, Thomas? What do you call that when maybe a semi passes you on the force of that, the wind or something? I don't know what that is called.
I'm not sure what the formal term for it is either. It just sounds like whenever the semi's coming your way and whooshes right by you, creates such a force that it actually shakes your car as well. I know what you're talking about, but I know there's a formal term for it. I'm just blanking.
And plus blowing up all that snow, and so we were blinded. The impact of that the semi passing just blew us right off the interstate, and that was pretty scary. I mean, that was scary.
Wow.
But we were rejoicing when we got back, and so thank you and those that had us in their thoughts and prayers, because we sure needed them to get back safely, but we did, and so here we are.
Well, it's funny because I just couldn't get you out of my mind. It's like you were there. You were a presence with me, so I knew I was just to be in constant intercession for you.
And I sure appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, and you have an experience you want to share with us today on this Mental Health Monday. I didn't get a chance to see your article in the Williston Herald, so I apologize for that. Couldn't find it, but you had an article. I was sad yesterday.
Yeah, I felt sad yesterday. It was what I wrote for Friday's offering in the Herald, and I'm not sure if it made it in or not, but it was so interesting and gratifying because I did send it out to my list of about 1,200 people, and I heard back from more people just saying, "I hope you feel better. I hope you're okay." And it was just very touching that many people responded, and I think it was because people could relate to it. I just had one of those black days. There was nothing I could do to shake myself from it. And I wrote how, I visited the books on Broadway and got a hug from Chuck and Nancy and Colleen there, and that was very sweet. And then I called my friend in LA, and she said, go get something to eat. So I ate at Dakota Farms, my favorite comfort food, 3 pieces of crisp bacon and potatoes. And then I had some cancellations, and I just went home and took a nap for 2 hours. And then I got up and started seeing my afternoon and evening clients, and it just was kind of with me all day.
Mm-hmm. And in case folks don't know who you are by this time, Lorraine Purcell is with us every Monday for Mental Health Monday. She's a counselor. You are also you're an author.
I'm an author, yes.
You're also a parent mentor. What else?
Well, I coach people on all kinds of things, and I work with individuals, couples, families, and groups. Anything that's going on. It's mostly around relationship and relating. And if it's an individual, it's about relationship and relating to yourself. And so, yeah.
every Monday you come on The Balkan is Talking, and we offer just practically your services for free.
Yeah.
And I want to get about those phone numbers. That reminds me, I neglected to do that. 774-0306, 774-0306, or 1-800-238-0306, 1-800-238-0306. If you'd like to ask a question, if you'd like to ask Lorraine a question and you don't want to be on the radio, that's okay. You can. Thomas is taking the phone calls, and he'll relay that question to Lorraine. And we would love to have you just to call in this afternoon if you have any questions at all for Lorraine. Now, usually, Lorraine, you give us a tool of the week, and we'll get to that. Do you have a tool of the week?
Yeah, it's actually a review tool that I think is really important that we revisit.
All right. Yes. And last week we talked about finding that inner space and breathing. That was a great tool. That was so good. It really helped me in preparation for going on that trip. It relaxed me. It gave me that peace that I didn't have. I had anxiety before I left. And, folks, I'm just a baby, I guess, when it comes to traveling. I get anxious, especially when I'm preparing to go on a trip somewhere I have never been before. The road was unfamiliar to me. I knew about the weather, the approaching weather last week, and I was anxious. I had some anxiety there, and you gave me a tool that just relaxed me. It gave me that peace. And will we review that today?
Sure, we can review that.
Let's
again
review
today.
that because, with weather that's coming, and we do have some weather coming, and let's talk about that when we come back after the break.
Great.
We'll talk about that tool of the week, and also if weather can affect our mental state.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes,
we're going to talk
absolutely.
about some good things when we come back. And don't forget, now you can call during this break, 774-0306 or 1-800-238-0306. We'll be back with Lorraine Purcell on The Balkan is Talking.
At 1.8 miles east.
Our finger on the pulse of the boom towns. This is your news and information source for Williston and the Balkan. The new Keys AM 660.
Welcome back to The Balkan is Talking, 774-0306 or 1-800-238-0306. Thomas is standing by to take your phone calls if you have a question for Lorraine Purcell, who's in the studio with me for Mental Health Monday. Lorraine, you have so many nuggets of truth that you give us every Monday. And today you said, be gentle with yourself.
Yeah.
I love that. I've never heard that before. Be gentle with yourself.
Super important. We can have ourselves in a vice with all the pressure we put on ourselves. And, we just need to be gentle with ourselves a lot of the time. Go ahead.
No, I was just, we had a fascinating discussion during the break, Lorraine. It's too bad that folks couldn't hear what we were talking about.
Our break times.
We were just talking, wow, we were all over the place.
We were.
But we were talking about the stress, that, and you were saying that a lot of us, you were talking about your purpose in life.
Oh, yeah.
What's your purpose in life,
Yeah,
Lorraine?
well, my purpose in life is to lift people's spirits. And I was telling Dee that just today, at least 5 times, probably more, maybe 10, whenever I encountered anybody, I made it my purpose to add light and love to that situation without being all gooey and telling them I love them. But I just, will engage in conversation. Hey, how you doing? To a total stranger. And then they perk up and they catch the flame. And then there's this great conversation. And if they start to complain about something, as people often do, I will just grab that and go, isn't it wonderful, though, that we can blah, 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 blah. And, people will complain about the Bach, and I'm like, I just love it here. I love the people here. I love the people here. And I'm so grateful for all the opportunity we have here.
Yeah.
And then they're just kind of like dumbfounded. They can't say any more complaint, but I don't say it to manipulate. I say it because it's how I truly, truly feel. And I really believe that. I mean, that's how I feel every day that I'm here. Even last Thursday when I couldn't shake that thing.
That sadness, that thing that was overwhelming you. Yeah. I just lost my train of thought, Lorraine. I was going to ask you about the spiraling thing.
Oh yes, this is the other tool I wanted to review.
We have a nature. We have that higher nature and the lower nature.
Yes. Yes.
And you had to explain that again.
Okay.
The spiraling thing.
So we have a choice every moment of every day as human beings, and that is to go down or to go up. And the downward is as we picture ourselves going in a clockwise direction, like 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That gets us tighter. And, when they say being wound like a clock, that's exactly what it is. And that tension, that tightness just gets us. And you can just feel your blood vessels popping, and we get irritable, and we start getting nasty, and we start getting mean. But as soon as that happens, all you have to do is picture yourself going in a counterclockwise direction. And I'm actually moving my hand in a counterclockwise direction in front of my body as I'm talking to you, Dee. And even if you do this, if you just take this motion, you will begin to feel yourself unwind. And imagine that there's a spiral coming from the bottom of your feet, going all the way up your body, up through your spinal column and out through the top of your head, and accessing all of the light that is up there in the universe, or your higher self, or God, or whatever it is that you believe in. And I'm being vague about that because, we're a largely Christian country, but we have so many people from so many other countries now, and so many other faiths, that I don't want to alienate anybody.
And here in Williston and the Bakken is becoming such an international community. We had a caller with a question. How do you get your health back, Lorraine, when you've been under tremendous stress?
Oh, that's a good question. So I would want to know how long it has been going on and what the tremendous stress is. But I think that this caller just left the question with Thomas, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what you begin to do is be gentle with yourself, and you rest.
Just like we've been talking about.
You listen to your body, and when it wants to nap, you let it nap. When it wants to go back to bed, you let it go back to bed. If you can afford to do that with whatever your work situation is, or whatever if you're a young mother, be sure that you get other people to help you out and take the children so that you can rest. Rest is when your body does restore itself. Mm-hmm. And when you start to feel that stress coming on, notice that it's usually self-imposed, and it is guilt and strain that those thoughts are running through our mind. And so you could, I was listening to Marianne Williamson this weekend, and she says that on any poisonous plant, the antidote is 12 feet from the poisonous plant. And what that symbolizes is that whatever poison is affecting our lives, the antidote is right there. And I tell people, whatever that negative thought is, just turn it inside out. What is it that you want? Like, oh, I'm miserable. I'm just such a failure. I feel like such a failure. It's like, no, let's just turn that inside out. I am a fabulous success. I am fabulously uplifting.
Mm-hmm. List your attributes. List them.
Your attributes.
If you have to write them down, write them down.
Write them down over and over and over and over and over again, and read them over and over and over and over and over again. Our brain needs washing.
There's a nugget of truth. There's another one. Right there. Our brain needs washing.
Talk about brainwash. I'm talking about brainwashing here, people. Our brain needs washing. So we wash our brains with these positive messages. And I'm like a fiend about this. I listen to it all night long when I'm sleeping, because I figure there's just not a spare moment to, be just leaving it by the wayside. I just want, and it will affect my dreams. I'll have dreams around the things that these positive people are telling me. It's just, I'm just like a fanatic. I just insist on growing the most that I can possibly grow while I'm on this planet.
Lorraine Purcell is in the studio with us, Mental Health Monday. Thank you, caller, for that question. If you'd like to call in, we have a few minutes remaining this afternoon with Lorraine Purcell. We've got to take a quick break. 774-0306 or 1-800-238-0306. Thomas is such a nice guy. He really is, and he's standing by to take your calls. He's really
he's sweet.
He's a sweetheart.
He's cute.
Girls, I'm telling you what, and he's available. He is available. Very single. I'm making him blush now.
is going on?
He's a catch.
Sorry, Thomas.
You're forgiven.
But anyway, we are going to be back with The Bakken is Talking with Lorraine Purcell. And when we come back, Lorraine, I want to talk about that shift that you see in our universe. Lorraine told me during one of our breaks, she sees a shift, not just in our culture, but in the whole universe. And that just captured my attention. We're going to talk about that and some of the events that you have coming up and how folks can get in touch with you. Lorraine Purcell, when The Bakken is Talking returns.
60.
Welcome back to The Bakken is Talking. It's 51 past the hour. We're going to wrap up our visit this afternoon on Mental Health Monday with Lorraine Purcell. And for those of you folks that have been listening, thank you. And for those of you that have called in, thank you to you as well. 774-0306 or 1-800-238-0306. Just a few more minutes left with Lorraine. You said something that really resonated with me. And during one of the breaks, you said not just our culture, but this planet, this universe is in a shift. Talk on that, Lorraine. And then I want you to give your contact information and your upcoming events.
Okay, well, I really feel a shift. You know, it says in the Bible, the dark will get darker and the light will get lighter. And I remember 2 years ago, I could feel it happening. I could feel the shift happening. It talks about wars and rumors of war. And I just prayed to God and I said, please help me be on the light side of that and not get caught in the dark side of it. And, you know, really coming to the Bakken really put the cap on that, because I've developed such a platform here by being on the radio with UD and the newspaper column and all the workshops that I'm able to give. But, you know, we can either go down, like I said earlier, or we can go up. And so the dark gets darker. You know, you notice that there's a lot of darkness going on now. Now, how do you want to dwell there? Do you want to, feel bad about that stuff? Do you want to worry about it? Do you want to live in fear, or do you want to go to the other way? Do you want to go to the light way? And so that's where I have trained myself to go to and invite you to. And it just means, using these tools that I've been sharing, being a light messenger when you're standing in line at Walmart, reaching out to somebody who might be, troubled with a little baby that's screaming in aisle 9.
And we so need you, Lorraine, to remind us. Every week is such a great way to start the week off here at the new Keys AM 660 and on the Bakken is Talking. It's such a good way to remind us. Keep doing that. Keep those positive thoughts and those positive vibes going throughout our community here in Williston and the Bakken. Yes. Okay, so you've got some workshops coming up, or you had one Friday.
Yeah,
tell us about that.
I had one Friday. It was wonderful. It was well attended, and it was called Giving Joy with Fewer Toys. We discovered about how to defuse the materialistic and entitlement mentality that is in our children today, and how do we deal with that as parents. I have a whole raft of new workshops coming up at the Williston Library from January to March, as well as Williston Community College. And if you would like information on that, you can either call me at 808-936-4370, 808-936-4370, as well as if you would like counseling or coaching on any area. I'm a marriage, family, and child counselor, and I work with individuals, couples, families, and groups. And it's just anything along those lines. Or you can sign up for my email list and get ongoing weekly support right in your inbox at yourkidslovinglife.com. yourkidsloving life.com.
And LorrainePurcell.com. You have a website, right?
I do. I haven't checked it out, but it's LorrainePurcell.com. My web guy does that for me. And there should be a lot of free stuff on there. We're working on it. I think I'm the holdup.
In addition to each Monday's The Bakken is Talking visit with you, can folks go to the LorrainePurcell.com and hear that? As well, there's probably a link where they can go on that website.
There's a column that says free stuff, and just kind of dig around in there and see what's going on.
If you want to hear the program again. Last week's program was great. And so, folks, if you want to hear And we're hoping in the very near future that we will be streaming online.
Yay.
On the Bakken is Talking will be, and the new Keys AM 660 will be streaming online in the very near future, and also have those programs that the Bakken is Talking, that people can listen to those, the podcasting. Thomas, I don't know. Am I getting way out of my technical zone here?
Well, that's one of those things that we're, slowly but surely we're getting there, and streaming will be one of those things, and podcasting as well. I know someone asked me earlier if Joel Heidkamp podcasts, and he does. His podcasts are on kfgo.com. He usually puts up the morning show sometime in the afternoon, but hopefully we'll be doing podcasting ourselves here in the next coming months.
Final thoughts, Lorraine?
Just go light. Just when you start to feel down, reach for the light. And like I expressed last week, I had a real down day on Thursday, and I couldn't get out of it, and I just had to be gentle with myself. So even if you have those days, you can be kind and loving and gentle to yourself, just as we should be to others every single day of our life.
Lorraine Purcell, thank you so much for joining us on Mental Health Monday on the Bakken is Talking.
Thank you, Dee.
We will be back tomorrow, and thank you to our producer, Thomas Willenbring. Hope you'll join us again.